I don't doubt his coaching credentials, but managing the selection committee, managing the board officials, that's where I think Gambhir needs to be slightly more smart and
not Gambhir.
yeah.
How is it going to be between Gautam Gambhir and Virat Kohli? Because we know they have a history.
Gambhir will understand Virat a lot better than others
Right.
because he's seen him from his early teenage days, right? So that actually will help.
Hello and welcome to the Indian Express. I'm Charulata Biswas and welcome to the special segment of sports. I'm being joined by Sandeep Dwivedi and he'll be talking to me about Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir is the new coach of Indian cricket team and he's going to start his new innings. He's the new boss now. So in this video, it's not a discussion of sorts, but we are gonna look at his career trajectory and also talk about how he's gonna be as a coach. So Sandeep, let me begin with the announcement that happened yesterday, right? So we saw the post on X last night where we got an official confirmation. So Gautam Gambhir, we have seen him as a cricketer. We have seen him as a batsman. Can you tell us how he is going to be as a coach?
Right. See, he has been a coach for KKR, so to a certain extent, we know what kind of a coach he can be. And as we saw it in his first debut as a coach with KKR, they won the title. So he comes with some great credentials. But as per the announcement, it was expected. Like there was this buzz as soon as he won the IPL with KKR. There was always this feeling that he would be made the Indian coach, because Rahul Dravid's stint was getting over, and since these days IPL is the be all and end all everything. So as soon as the world saw him as the very inspirational coach and all those visuals about him being congratulated by the team owner Shah Rukh Khan, and in this day and age these things do help a lot, right? And but besides that, forget all that, but he comes here with great credentials, a very committed cricketer, no nonsense player, a very credible voice even on television as a commentator, plus the kind of rapport he has with the team, because quite a few people were there in the current team, especially the seniors like say Rohit or say Virat, right? He's played with them. So, see, he has a certain kind of respect in the cricket fraternity. Nobody can question his commitment, his passion for the game, which is very evident from the way he batted. If you have seen him in the KKR dugout also, he has this intense focus, and the KKR victory story this season it's all been about great planning. Gautam Gambhir picking the right kind of players, be it the youngsters who he showed faith in, and at the same time he also had two very talented seniors in the team who were not in the best of forms, but Gautam being Gautam, he insisted with them, and both of them were, I'll name them, Sunil Narayan, the West Indian, and also Russell, right? So these were the two important people for KKR. Before this season, there was not that trust in them. People said that, okay, their sell-by date is over, now they could retire anytime, but Gautam insisted with them, and also insisted with a few talented youngsters, and also with a very young captain in Shreyas Iyer. So he is the kind of guy who can manage the youngsters at the same time also take care of the seniors. So that way he fits the bill perfectly, because if you look at the Indian team right now, that's also has the same combination of youngsters and seniors. So I think you can't find much fault with him right now.
So what I hear from what you've said is that he's someone who can keep a team together, and he acknowledges the young players, and he looks at the strengths of the players who can actually be like a strong part of the team.
So I'll tell you very interesting. See, the fact is that if anybody who's playing for India, he doesn't need coaching as such, because he has reached that level, right? So a job for an international coach these days is to just massage their egos at times, right? To make them feel important in the dressing room. These seniors who are quite a few seniors, say Rohit or Virat, they are in their mid-30s. This is when you start having these second thoughts whether I am good enough and how long will I last. So in that case, so as an international coach, he needs to assure these guys that okay, like you are important to the team. At the same time, if you go and look at his own trajectory as a player, he played in an era which had, in a team which had people like Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman, Rahul Dravid. So he wasn't really the most talented player in the team ever, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that is important in the sense like he also understands the kind of things a junior will be going through in his mind. Like
Right.
in case if there's a youngster, say a teenager or a very young player in his, say Yashashvi Jaiswal, who is a youngster who is in his early 20s, right? So he is in a team which has Virat and Rohit and Bumrah. So what is going through the mind of Jaiswal is something which Gambhir himself has experienced.
Right.
So he knows what are the insecurities or the questions will be in his mind.
Right.
So he will be able to easily address those things. So that way, so that's what I'm saying, that when people say coach, you get the impression that okay, like he'll teach them how to bat, but what do you teach a Virat Kohli to bat? So these are it's mostly man management and picking the right people. Like if you see a youngster and if you think that he's got talent, you back him. That is what. And that's what he's done in KKR team also, where quite a few youngsters who were not that big a name before the season, but Gambhir ensured that yeah, they do well. He spotted the talent in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about how being a coach actually
Yeah.
means to massage the egos
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
players,
yeah.
right? How is it going to be between Gautam Gambhir and Virat Kohli? Because we know they have
yeah.
a history, and
Right.
will there be a clash? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure our viewers who are watching right now, they
Absolutely.
really want to understand and
Right,
know it
right.
from you.
So in case if people who read Indian Express this morning, there's a lovely profile by Sriram Veera, right?
Okay.
It's on the page 1. So he has addressed this issue there, and what he says something very nicely. He says that if you look at it, they're very similar kind of people, both aggressive, both from West Delhi, right? You have, those who are from Delhi will know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, they don't like losing, right? So if you look at them, they're very similar people. Now, in case they are in the rival team, there is bound to be a clash. But imagine the power they can be together, right? They are on the same side.
Yes.
So that helps a lot. But also you need to understand that see Virat and Gautam Gambhir, they go back a long, long way, right? So they have played the cricket together. And see, on the field, what happens is very different from what happens off the field. Like, I'll give you a classic example. Like, we all make a big thing about this India-Pakistan matches and all, right? We say that, okay, like it's a do or die battle and these guys will be at each other's throat all the time. That is never the case. If you watch even India-Pakistan cricketers off the field, you'll see them as best of friends. It's only in the heat of the moment of that particular match. And that is exactly what has happened with Virat and Gambhir also. Like that one incident in IPL, which they didn't agree with a
Yes.
certain point. They had a conversation. In the sense, I wouldn't call it a conversation. It's a proper fight. Forget it. But right. But absolutely, we've watched them long enough to say that these will be like minor differences. It wouldn't matter at all. I'm saying that what I have get the feeling is Gambhir will understand Virat a lot better than others
Right.
because he's seen him from his early teenage days. Right. So that actually will help the team. Yeah.
That's great. And we are talking about also like him being the coach, and we have seen Rahul Dravid,
Right.
who was like this calm
Yeah.
personality in the
Right.
team, right? Now we are seeing Gautam Gambhir,
Right.
So as a new coach,
Right.
he has a very different temperament, right?
Absolutely.
He's been vociferous,
Right.
right? So how do you think he's gonna like sort of impact the team in the
Right.
dressing room, or
Right.
if there's a difference that you see?
No,
or
absolutely, they're two very different people. And if you go back, Rahul Dravid was very different to Ravi Shastri, who was the previous coach, who he replaced, right?
Okay.
So, but Indian cricket, that's the beauty of this team, right? The transition was so smooth from Ravi Shastri to Rahul Dravid, and I'm very pretty confident to say that the transition from Rahul Dravid to Gautam Gambhir will be equally smooth. See, as we all know in workplaces and all, in case if there's a new boss, he'll have a different way of working, but we all we all have adjusted to
Yeah,
things
we
like,
all do.
I think everybody will definitely connect to this point. Once somebody is installed at the top, you follow his instructions and you know
Yeah.
that okay. And as in life, we deal with different kind of people every other day, right? So these cricketers are smart enough to understand that yeah, if if a coach has been put in place,
Hmm.
there will definitely be the processes will be different. But I would add here that if you want to ask me tactically, or the planning kind of the planning part of cricket, Gautam Gambhir is pretty smart there. If you look at, let's be very objective here, just take the coaching records of Rahul Dravid in IPL and the coaching record of Gautam Gambhir in IPL. Rahul Dravid was the coach of Rajasthan Royals for a few seasons. They did pretty bad, right? Gautam Gambhir in his first season made KKR the champions with not many star players in that side. He spotted the right people. You could look at the team and you could understand that everybody in the KKR team knew their roles, what exactly they had to do. And that was a major reason they won the title. So Rahul Dravid had his own way of handling players, doing things, which was great, as we saw in this T20 World Cup. His last, on his last day of assignment, he won the World Cup, right? So he did his things in his way, and I'm sure Gautam Gambhir also knows what to do with a cricket team, and he also knows how to.
And he also
win.
knows the players.
Absolutely,
Right.
which Dravid also knew to a certain extent, but slightly elder Rahul Dravid was to Gautam. But yeah, the other thing is Gautam Gambhir is the youngest Indian coach, as in not the India coach, because Gary Kirsten was younger than
Okay.
Gambhir. Plus, Gambhir has also played T20 cricket. He's played the modern game, unlike Rahul Dravid, because when he was retiring, his best days were before T20 came. Where Gautam has done both, he also has an excellent. People tend to forget that his test record is also not that bad. He is not just a T20 coach. He's also a all-format coach.
What are the things that are lacking,
Right.
probably that you see right now,
Right.
where he might face challenges,
Right.
or something that that might not work
Right.
for him? Can you also point at those things?
See, I also will be speculating. I'm also just guessing. Maybe like it's absolutely wrong. But see, Gautam Gambhir as an India coach, he could, he should be a less stubborn, because right, what worked for a small setup like KKR with a very obliging owner in Shah Rukh Khan, that might not work in the Indian team, because there are processes in place. There is a selection committee which has all senior players, right? So if Gautam Gambhir needs to work around the system here, right? There are times when things don't go your way. There will be obstacles on the way. What he wants, he might not get. Because in KKR he almost had a veto. Whoever he wanted were there in the team. That might not be the case with the Indian team because of the processes in place. There are the BCCI officials, there is a setup, there are 5 selectors who will have a say in things, and plus he also has to work with a very successful captain in Rohit Sharma, who also has an idea about the team. He will also have his likes and dislikes. For Gautam Gambhir to work in this entire ecosystem or this entire BCCI setup, I think that will be his biggest challenge. I don't doubt his coaching credentials. I don't doubt his understanding of cricket. But maybe for man management, players is also fine. He's done that. He's shown it. But managing the selection committee, managing the board officials, that's where I think Gambhir needs to be slightly more smart. And
not Gambhir.
yeah. And he doesn't need to see, his biggest quality
Yeah.
is speaking your mind out, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't always work in any institutional setups, more so in BCCI, which is quite.
He has to be more strategic.
Absolutely, and he needs to pick his own battles. Like every day, he can't pick up a fight. He will have to, like, suppose if he has a fight over a certain player, maybe he can say, okay, like I'm giving this, but I'll get something else. So that he needs to be smart in his choice of which battle to pick.
What I was thinking about was, his political career as
Right,
well, right?
right,
He was the
yeah.
Lok Sabha MP, and
Right.
he actually thought about picking this role,
Absolutely.
the coach,
Right.
being the coach of Indian
Yeah,
cricket team.
yeah.
So what was the process like if you have to make an assessment?
Right.
What was the whole process like
Right.
for Gautam Gambhir?
Yeah. So it is very interesting. Like if you just start off this year, we are in June right now. Yeah.
July.
Yeah, July. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the start of the year, say in Feb or March, he
Yeah.
was a proper member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. Elections were around the corner.
Yeah.
People were speculating whether he'll again get the ticket from East Delhi, where he was the MP from. And imagine, like he had won that seat with a margin of close to 7 lakh votes. Right, it's a massive margin.
Massive.
And he was most likely he could have got a again he could have been picked again as a candidate, BJP candidate from Delhi. But see, Gautam Gambhir at heart is a cricketer. Like all through his political career, also we saw that he would run and do his commentary stints. If he got a chance to play somewhere, he would do that. So hearts of hearts, he is more suited for cricket than for politics, right? So when the time came when he had to take a call whether I go for the elections one more time, or at the same time he had this offer from KKR where Shah Rukh Khan wanted him back in the team at Calcutta. So that's the call he took, and just imagine how it has worked beautifully for him. He goes to KKR, he does really well there, and then he comes into the Indian cricket team. So politically, I always
He's a good decision maker.
he was, and if you ask me honestly, I never saw him as a great politician because, again, as I said, politicians can't speak their minds. They have the restrictions of their parties, they have an image to take care of, and his thinking, his views have to align with the views of his party. So at times you thought that he seemed to be restrictive, but he did his best. Like
Quite
he,
nationalistic.
yeah, he was. That
Yeah,
worked for him, and I
yeah.
think he was in our office idea exchange. He's come here twice, and if you go back and read those things, he was pretty forthcoming on certain issues which generally politicians are not, right? And he made quite a few statements which were not politically correct at that point. So if you ask me, he wasn't suited to be a politician ever just because of his popularity in Delhi or the way it was when he got elected in 19. He won by this massive margin, but he wasn't. And see, that's important. Like, it's very difficult for people to give up something as important as a member of parliament position, which he did. And again, he, as you said, right call at the right time he took. And for all you know, see, for me, Gautam Gambhir has always been this cricketer. He played 2 World Cup finals and he did it exceptionally well. But who we talk about, all those 2 World Cup titles, we talk about Dhoni, we talk about other people. But Gambhir never gets mentioned. So now when he comes back as a India team's coach, maybe this is the time for he will maybe won us one more World Cup, and then we will finally give credit which is due to him, right? So what he couldn't achieve as a player, he maybe will achieve as a coach.
We'll see that. And on that note, there you go. That was all about Gautam Gambhir. And if you want to learn more about him, you can read our reports on indianexpress.com. And that was Sandeep for us, giving us all those interesting details about Gautam Gambhir. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for being a part of this conversation. And thank you so much for watching us. If you like this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, The Indian Express. Thank you, and we'll be back right here.